Bill, I was thinking a while ago when Stu was talking about the little child that came up to him and asked him if he was God. And then while Jeannie was singing, I was thinking about Corinna, my little granddaughter. And then I got to thinking about a story I read. And it was this little boy about 4 years old, and his mom and daddy had told him that he was getting ready to get a new brother or sister that the Lord would be sending down from heaven. This is a true story. And so eventually the baby was born. And they brought the baby home. And he went over to the little baby sister. And he said, "Tell me what God looks like. I'm beginning to forget."
What a great story.
True.
Goodness.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Bill,
Yes.
we were created to have fellowship with Him.
Yes.
That's the reason that we were created, in His likeness. If we stop and think about in His likeness, that's hard to imagine how we in this old worthless shell, but we still look like Him. And He wants to talk to us every day because He loves us. And we need to talk to Him just like I'm talking to you. Now, He's not someone plumb out of reach that you have to go through someone to get to. We have a direct line to Him by just mentioning His name. And at the mention of His name, the enemy, who is the only one that comes between us and Him, the enemy has to flee. And see, He is love. God is love. Jesus is the perfect epitome of a perfect love, the only perfect man that was ever made. And we are made in His likeness. And He loved us so much, that He gave His life for us. And can you imagine now, if you think of all the bad things in the world, the evil comes from the enemy, Satan.
Yes.
Okay, there's coming a time when he won't be with us. Can you imagine what it's like when there's nothing but perfect love left in the world and the enemy is gone? There won't be any prejudice, any greed, any lust. There won't be anything but perfect love.
Well, there's some people in this room that missed their calling, Stu. I think a lot of people in this room should have been preachers. That's beautiful, Buck. Wow.
And Bill,
Some people in here are preachers.
and
They just didn't go to school.
Bill, I want to say something on a little lighter note. I think God has a sense of humor because you can look around this room and see that He did.
I do too.
Russell took that personally.
My grandson, they all go to Sunday school. They know God. But my grandson had this little cat, and he loved this cat. And he went outside to play one day, and the little cat followed him out and got hit by a car. And I thought, Lord have mercy, how am I going to tell him that cat is dead? He come back a couple hours later and wanted to know where his cat was. And I said, baby, I hate to tell you this, but your kitty cat followed you outside a while ago and got hit by a car, and it got killed. I said, it's up in heaven with God. He looked at me real strange. He said, Granny, what would God want with a dead cat?
Hey, Bill. That reminds me of Justin Tubbs' little son, one of the youngest one, when he was a little feller. His wife told me about this, that their dog got killed, a little puppy, and she, when he came home from school, she didn't know how to tell him, but she could tell the older one, and explained to him she did, but she took the little one in the car and thought, well, I'll drive around the block several times and we'll talk, it's easy, and said, son said, your little dog, your little puppy, he went to dog heaven today. He said, well, all right.